Good evening, I'm Ruby Busnett. Let's begin with the main stories. Plotting of cultivable lands increasing across the country. Government says more than 83,000 hectares of land converted into plots in the past 8 years. Several settlements in Udaipur at a high risk of inundation as the local Triyug River starts breaching surrounding lands. 192 households in imminent danger. And at least 42 people killed in a series of suicide car bombings at security targets in a major Yemeni city, Mukalla. And quarter-final equation drawn at Euro 2016 as Iceland emerges as the surprise package of the tournament. A meeting of the Joint Task Force failed to take any decision this evening. The Joint Task Force, comprising both ruling and main opposition parties, has been formed aimed at forging consensus to settle the obstruction at the Parliament. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, Chief of Main Opposition Sher Bahadur Deuba and Chairman of ruling Maoist Centre Pushpa Kamal Dal were supposed to take part in the meeting. The leaders, however, said that today's meeting ended on a positive note. Meanwhile, the task force meeting held earlier this morning to end the deadlock in the Parliament had ended inconclusively. RPP Nepal's Chief Whip Dilnath Giri informed that the meeting this morning was adjourned after Nepali Congress leaders were adamant on the government releasing a lump sum amount of 200,000 rupees to earthquake victims. The task force meeting has been rescheduled for 11 a.m. tomorrow. Now, several settlements in Udaipur are at a high risk of inundation as the local Triyug River has started breaching the surrounding lands. This has pushed as many as 192 households in the region into imminent danger. Flooding in the river had swept away the local 40 hectares of cultivable land just a few days earlier. The deluge also destroyed paddy and maize plantation across 10 hectares of area. As the river diverged from its regular course with the onset of monsoon, a further 200 hectares of land in the region are at high risk of inundation. If not brought under control, the flood water would even sweep away a number of neighboring settlements alongside arable land. Locals in the district are currently bound to stay awake for a whole night due to the constant threat of flooding. They have blamed the authority of constant indifference despite repeated call for help. It's time now for a short break. Do stay tuned for more. Welcome back. President Bidya Devi Bhandari has requested the major parties to jointly move ahead for statute implementation. She was speaking at a program held in the capital today to mark the 65th birth anniversary of late UML General Secretary Madan Bhandari. President Bhandari stressed on the need of unity among parties so as to sort out the recent political challenges facing the nation. Meanwhile, she recalled Bhandari, who was also her husband, as a far-sighted leader with political integrity. She added that late Bhandari proved his political foresight by formulating the concept of multi-party socialism. And now on to international news. At least 42 people, mostly soldiers and one child, was killed when attackers launched 4 suicide car bombings at security targets in a major Yemeni city. The attacks occurred in Mukalla, a southern eastern port city in Hadramaut province. At least 30 people were injured, all security officers except for 5 civilians. One of the attacks targeted a military compound near a government intelligence building. The others targeted military checkpoints. Amaq, a media voice of ISIS, said in a statement published on Twitter that 4 ISIS attackers targeted a joint security base. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another break. The trend of land plotting in cultivable lands is increasing across the country. According to the Ministry of Agricultural Development, more than 83,000 hectares of land have been converted into plots in the past 8 years. Cultivable land in Dapa district is decreasing every year. Hundreds of hectares of land is not being used for agricultural purpose as the trend of plotting arable lands is increasing. According to Agriculture Development Office in Zappa, 1,500 hectares of land are plotted every year. Other districts in the Tarai share the same story. Around 2,000 hectares of cultivable land are plotted every year in Kaski. Plotting is also increasing in the outskirts of the Kathmandu Valley. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Land Reforms and Management has already introduced a policy regarding land use and is making preparations to introduce an act in this regard. Ministry officials have said that widespread plotting will be controlled after endorsement of the act. With the increasing trend of plotting, agricultural production is decreasing. If proper attention is not paid towards conservation of cultivable land, additional challenges will be faced regarding food security. It's now time for our segment, Public Pulse, where you SMS us your opinion.
Janamat, brought to you by Morgan International College, Basundhara, Kathmandu, Nepalaya College, Kalanki, Kathmandu, KMC National High Secondary School, Balkumari, Lalitpur, Bagmati College, Sukithara, Kathmandu, Global College of Management, an excellent center for management studies, Midbaneshwar, Kathmandu, Kathmandu Bernhardt College, Balku, Kathmandu, Redon College, Samakusi, Kathmandu, Everest, Florida High Secondary School, Shantinagar Gate, Kathmandu, Nepal Mega College, Babar Mahal, Kathmandu, Kathmandu University BBA at Nepal College of Management, Lumbini Academy, Tabahil to Chipati, Kathmandu, NASA International College, Tinkune, Gairigaon, Kathmandu, Active Academy College, Basundhara, Kathmandu, Madan Bhandari Memorial College, New Baneshwar, Kathmandu.
But before that, let's take a look at yesterday's results. Who should be more responsible for creating a conducive election environment? 38% voted for A, government, 48% voted for B, election commission, and 14% voted for C, political parties. And here's today's question. What could be the reason for increasing trend of plotting of arable land? Your options are A, disorganized urbanization, B, policy lapses, and C, no traction in agriculture. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your options A, B, or C, and send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. And in this context, we'd ask people from Zapa, Rohtahat, Morang, and Rupande about how to preserve arable land across the country. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Plotting like रोक्नै पर्छ यो चाहिँ व्यक्तिगत तर्फबाट नभएर विशेष गरिकन बैंकिङ कारोबारबाट सरकारी निकायबाट जबसम्म यो अभियान चल्दैन तबसम्म नेपाल कृषि प्रधान देश हो भनेर घोषणा नगरे पनि हुन्छ
सानो टुक्रा जमिन गराउन टुक्राउने सिस्टमको नि अन्त्य गर्नुपर्छ
बैंकको सम्पत्ति पाएछन् जहाँ पनि प्लटिङ भनेर यो रोक्नै पर्छ
बाँझो रहेको जग्गाहरूलाई खेती योग्यमा परिणत गर्ने
कल कारखाना राख्नु भएन घर बनाउनु भएन त्यसमा पानी दिनु पर्यो मल दिनु पर्यो किसानहरूलाई सहयोग गर्नु पर्यो सरकारले
Now, the quarter-final equation has been completed at the ongoing Euro 2000. We apologize for that earlier. The quarter-final equation has been completed at the ongoing Euro 2016 in France. All the 8 quarter-finalists were selected following the victories of Iceland and Italy. Portugal will clash against Poland in the first quarter-final on Thursday. This will be followed by the second quarter-final between Wales and Belgium on Friday. The third quarter-final on Saturday will see an encounter between Germany and Italy, which will be a repeat of last edition's semi-final clash. The last quarter-final will witness a clash between Iceland and host France. Now, Minnows Iceland has been the pleasant surprise of the ongoing Euro 2016 in France. Debutant Iceland chalked out the biggest shock of the tournament with a convincing 2-1 win over fancied England to make a place in the quarter-final. We have a report.
Many eyebrows were raised when Iceland, ranked 138th in the FIFA World Ranking 4 years ago, qualified for the Euro 2016 at the expense of Netherlands. As the tournament reaches the business end, Iceland has been committing the giant killing act in France, with England being the latest casualty. Many considered it a fluke when Iceland held football powerhouse Portugal to a 1-1 stalemate. This was followed by another draw against Hungary and a convincing win against Austria, which qualified them as group leaders. Prior to the pre-quarter-final clash against England, Iceland coach compared the team with this year's English Premier League winners, Leicester City. The entire football world is now eager to learn more about this small island nation. With a total population of just over 300,000, there are 21,500 registered footballers. Their coach, Heimir Hallgrimsson, who took the national duty in 2013, is a dentist by profession. Only 16 players have featured in the English Premier League in the history of the game till date. Gylfur Sigurðsson is the only Iceland player currently playing in the EPL. Iceland footballers have also drawn significant attention with their unique hand-clapping celebration. As this edition's Euro heads for quarter-final stage, Iceland is keeping the football fraternity red hot with their fairy tale run.
And before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Plotting of cultivable land increasing across the country. Government says more than 83,000 hectares of land converted into plots in the past 8 years. Several settlements in Udaipur at a high risk of inundation as the local Triyut River starts breaching surrounding lands. 192 households in imminent danger. At least 42 people killed in a series of suicide car bombings at security targets in a major Yemeni city, Mukalla. And the quarterfinal equation drawn at Euro 2016 as Iceland emerges as a surprise package of the tournament. That's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television. Good night.